What's up, Internet? You're tuning in episode 73 of the FlipScreen Games Podcast, a weekly video game podcast where a group of best buds from different nations come together to discuss the wide world of video games. I'm your host, Pete and Bessie. Oh, Steve, you little monster. All right, fine, I'll do it. I'm your host, Left Guy, joined as always by my very good friends and co-hosts, Right Guy.
Hello.
And Middle Guy.
Hello, it's nice to be in the middle for once.
Just your Malcolm then, I guess.
Yes, I feel like Malcolm. I mean, yeah. I'm the youngest,
every week
technically.
now.
We could, I mean, apparently people don't know our names, so, I could call them whatever we want. What I've learned from this, so this is a bit that Steve wrote because we got a comment on the predictions winner episode we did. And was referring to me as Left Guy and Steve as Right Guy. What I think I've learned from this comment is we should probably put our names on the screen.
Yeah, we probably should. So we're going to change things up a little bit for the 2023 predictions this year because the comment was from someone called Seption, a subscriber. So hello, thank you for subscribing, Seption.
Hello.
And said, Left Guy's predictions were all too complicated. This happens at that time for Y and Z reasons, invites fiddly arguments about fractional points where more interesting discussions of the actual events should be. Right Guy's predictions are better formatted in that they're mostly just this happens. Easy to adjudicate, still plenty of room to discuss why they thought something would happen and how events played out in reality. Going forward, that should be the rule for these prediction games. Each prediction should be a single concrete event that either will or won't happen, with causes and embellishments left to discussion of the predictions, but not part of the predictions themselves. So that's what we're going to do.
He then goes on to say, Middle Guy, very debonair, quite handsome, but very modest. So
The most modest, actually, yeah.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Seption. I really
Number one
appreciate
tastemaker,
that.
Malcolm.
You'd never hear me say it. But
So we've taken some of this feedback into account. I think if we got to change the rules to make the lesser competitors have a better chance, it is what it is. I understand.
No.
Because
we
of course,
just have to stop your fuckery
the numbers
and
don't lie,
weaselness.
baby. Right? Here's the thing: winner 2 times in a row. About to make it a 3-peat today. Let's do it.
Pete, can I just say that you printed a trophy with your own name on it 3 times, and we're supposed to be impressed?
I didn't print it. It was made. It was made for the
Okay.
company.
You paid for someone.
I didn't pay for it. It was
okay.
gifted to me as a champion. It's true.
Max, don't
Okay.
worry. That's coming this side of the pond this year.
Yeah, don't you
Yeah.
It's
worry.
okay.
Well.
Don't worry.
In your
the odds are
dreams.
against his favour here anyway. He should have gotten Sierra back in to try and even the odds here because
I don't need
Two up.
I don't need help to even the odds. I smoked you both the last time we had to do one of these. I smoked Steve last year. I smoked Steve and Chewy when we did the Nintendo exhibition round on Nintendo Noise. I am the undisputed champion. And look,
Well, we don't know who's won the Nintendo Noise predictions this year because Chewy's not come back yet.
see, here's the thing
but he
though.
will
If you
be
want to
back
go and look
for
at the
that
points and
episode.
calculate them, you can
That's-
obviously see who the
People
champion.
can do that, but we're not going to do that. We're going to keep it as a surprise for the episode.
I'm just saying, it's clear. It's clear who the champ is. And look, I'm ready. If you guys are ready to come correct this year, that's great. Because all the time, right? And you can go look at that comment. There were plenty of comments in our Discord backing me up because I win because I make better predictions, not because of the rules. So if you want to change the rules, that's fine. All right? So Steve, why don't you read the new rules for 2023?
Okay, yeah. So we've similar to last year, we've got 10 predictions, each worth 1 point, and then we've got one risky pick, which is like a bonus. You get 2 points. It's got to be something completely outlandish, like Bungie getting acquired by one of the major platform holders.
God, you were
no-
so close. You were so close. You can taste it.
No half points this year. We're going to do solid picks only. Nothing left to interpretation or
no
subjectivity.
liquid,
so
no
nothing.
gases. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. No liquid, no gases, but nothing like there's got to be 3 like games that are high quality or something that can be left unopened to interpretation. We clarified the Rotten Tomatoes thing. It didn't work. It was impossible to judge that one. So I think we kind of
The
need
community
to
was
see
behind
what
me, though.
happens with the
The
predictions.
community was behind me. That's all I'll
That's
say.
true. That is very true, and we did have a follow-up comment from the person who commented before and saying that we should both check out Arcane and Edge Runners. So that's I'm planning on doing that.
I will, and I'll tell you what. I finally got around to watching Dragon Age. I think it's Absolution is the show, which is
it good?
Another. I loved it. I really enjoyed it.
The picks can't be obvious, something that's already happened or something we have prior knowledge of. So you can't say something like Sony will release a game because that's obviously going to happen, and it's not really a prediction. So they've got to be a little bit something with a little bit more of embellishment than that. And if two of the three of us think it's too obvious, then we can't let it slide. So be prepared to argue the toss with him, Max, because I know he's going to pick some his easy ones.
If we
you
agree
think I'm
now,
gonna pick
we
easy
can
ones?
wipe.
Oh my god, get out of here!
If we agree right now, Steve, we can wipe Pete's entire board, leave him with nothing. And
this is why we can't vote on our own things, because you two are cheaters, right? Like,
no, we're not cheaters.
Pete,
you've only got to convince one of us that it happened. That is one of the rules. So because there's three of us, last year you had to convince me, right? Now there's Max on your side as well. He may agree with you or I disagree with you. Like I might have thought that.
No, I think to judge. Here's my thing. I do not like the choice to have no half points. I've conceded that. That's fine. But if we're going to do it that way, I want an impartial judge.
Okay, fine. If you want to get an impartial judge on the show, I'm happy with that as well. Yeah, this definitely not you, Max. If you want to get an impartial judge, then we'll change it to be that.
I think that's the rule.
And
we have a judge, and we let the judge be the decider. They can tally at the end of the year, and then they name the winner.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
If the judge that I choose happens to have the same last name as me, look like me, and is my mum, that's fine. Still impartial. Pete, I can't believe you tried to call us cheaters when we've had to come up with an entire set of new rules to stop you from weaseling points out.
Yeah, weasel. That's what it is. Here's the thing, Max. It's not my fault that both Steve and Chewy make bad predictions because they're fun. He's taking his headphones.
Yeah.
I don't. You know what? Forget it. I don't need to. Explain myself to you, you newbie. This fucking rookie coming off the bench trying to talk shit. All right.
Yeah.
You want to come for the champ? Come correct, and we'll talk at the end of the year. All right. Let's put your predictions down, Mister. I couldn't even. You earlier today. He's like, I only have 8 predictions, and he's out here thinking he's gonna beat me. Get out of here.
It's so easy.
Get out of here.
It's so easy to get.
I am only the heel that you've made me, right? If you want to cast me a villain, then a villain I shall be.
You love playing the villain. Don't deny.
Look, everybody knows it's more fun to be the heel. Everybody knows. Everybody knows. Come on, get out of here.
So there's only one predictions list this year as well. We're not going to do Nintendo predictions individually like we did last year. So there will be Nintendo stuff in this list.
So we don't have to come up with 20 this year.
So we don't have to come up with loads more. Yeah. And we're going to play rock, paper, scissors, or paper, scissors, stone, whatever you want to call it, to decide this year. Because I think it probably would have been the loser that went first, but because Max is here, it kind of muddies the water. So we'll do it in reverse order next year. So whoever came in last goes first. Whoever came second to last goes in the middle, and then whoever wins goes last. But for this year, we'll do paper, scissors, stone to decide the order. If that makes sense.
Do we do? So I don't do all 10.
We have to do like a tournament though to do that, right? Because like we can't all do it at the same time.
So we're gonna do paper, scissors, stone, or like rock, paper, scissors, and then whoever wins that can decide where they want to go, whether that's first, in the second, or third. And then
so you and I are gonna do it.
And Max, all three of us will go.
But how? If we?
What do you mean?
Because we could all pick one of them, and then who wins?
Yeah, and then you keep going until one person wins. Whoever wins picks.
All right, whatever. Let's just do it. Let's just do it.
Hey, ready?
All right.
Rock, paper, scissors.
I win.
Oh wow.
So where do you want to go? First, second, or third?
I'll go first.
Okay, Max.
Oh god, yes. I was about to have a drink of water.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Hey.
Where do you want to go? Second or last?
I'll go first, please. No, I'll go second.
Okay, so the order we had on the board from last week's episode then.
Okay, perfect.
Pete first, Max second, me last, which is great because it means I can write down the predictions again.
Okay, so I'm gonna get this one out of the way before somebody else takes it because I think it's probably one of the ones everybody's got. Is Nintendo will not release next gen hardware.
Shit. Fine.
So that means if Nintendo puts out a revision of the Switch, right, whatever, that doesn't count. It has to be that they will not put out a successor to the Switch. We will not get the next gen Nintendo console this year.
And I'll say it again, this is the last time we speak of it on this show. All right? We're not speaking about it again.
He's trying to put a moratorium on it. He's crazy, this guy. He comes in.
I can't do it every single week. I can't do it.
Not every week, but look, when people write in, we got to talk about it. It just is what it is.
Fine. Shall I go?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to say, now, at the start of this, you're going to go boo, 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 but I've added an extra bit to it. So I think that an Elden Ring expansion is going to be released by June. We okay with that?
By June.
By June of this year.
What's the
End of June or beginning of June?
Actually, am I going to say released or revealed? If I say revealed, is that too easy?
Yeah.
Okay, released by the
Because we already know they're making DLC.
We don't necessarily know that.
We don't know that.
Released.
That's
No, we
true.
don't.
They did the
There's no
multiplayer expansion.
announcement.
There's
There's
been
a
no
multiplayer
announcement of a single player DLC. That's true.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, yeah. So I'm going to say the end of June. By the end of June.
Released by the end of June.
Released by the end of June.
Okay. I think that's fair.
So your prediction, Pete, was Nintendo will not release next gen hardware.
Correct.
Mix's was Elden Ring expansion released by the end of June 2023.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
You can't have
gonna-
revealed for either of them, by the way. It's not fair if you do.
What do you mean revealed? No,
You can't say
I think
revealed
I
instead.
can have Nintendo will not reveal a new Switch because
Yes.
Peter said
Yes, that's
they
fine.
won't release it, but I'm saying they won't even show it off. I don't think we're going to see it. I don't think they're going to acknowledge it. I don't think they're going to announce it.
That is annoying.
So wait,
that was my first one, and I didn't think I could pick it because Pete picks that.
No, you can
That's
because they're
really
different things.
annoying.
I
I didn't know that. I skipped it.
My number 2 is literally Nintendo will talk about the successor to the Switch. So I was going to predict the opposite of this. But
All right.
So you want to put that down?
Well, no, because let me ask you this. What are you saying in that prediction? Are you saying that they will not reveal a new Switch model or they will not reveal a successor to the Switch? Because like if they come out with a revision
was any new Switch. I don't think we're getting anything this year.
So then
I don't think we're getting any new hardware from them that has a Switch branding on it. I don't think we're getting a new OLED model. I don't think we're going to see a new model of the existing Switch. I don't think we're going to see a new Switch Lite.
But if they put out they reveal a new console and it's not called a Switch, then you're not getting that prediction.
Doesn't count. No, doesn't count.
Okay.
Because next gen, you said next gen hardware. I think the next console is going to be a new Switch. I don't think they're going to ditch the Switch branding. I think if they call it the Switch 2, then I lose because they've not revealed a new. They've revealed a new Switch, right?
Correct.
I'm saying they won't reveal a new Switch. If it's called the Switch 2, I'm happy to accept the fact that I've lost.
You don't want to expand it to just hardware?
No, because I think they probably will reveal some new hardware, not next gen hardware. And I don't know if I don't know if I consider. I mean, we'll have to see what hardware they reveal. I feel like the mid-gen refresh was the OLED model.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I'm asking because I can see why that has advantages, but I can also see why it has disadvantages. So I wanted to clarify to make sure that you're saying what you want to be saying now, so that we're not arguing about it later.
No, I'm happy with that. Nintendo will not reveal a new Switch.
Okay.
And that's any hardware with the Switch branding on it.
Okay.
I'm off to a terrible start here. Whatever.
You're fine.
I'm sorry, Max. I feel bad. You could have gone last. I guess.
That's true.
At least you're capable of feeling bad.
I'll tell you what though, Max. Also, if you have a prediction that you're not sure you're allowed to make, ask, and we'll tell you. Yeah.
All right, fine.
Okay. So this one's kind of fucky, but I'm gonna see if I can get it.
Here we go. Here we go already.
Switch will officially outsell the Game Boy.
Didn't we have that report where it basically
it hasn't
had already
officially
been predicted
Max
that it
had a whole thread about how it hasn't officially.
Okay,
know.
it hasn't officially been revealed, but when you look at the fact that the stats from September are what they are, and it was the best-selling item of
Yeah, it's bullshit.
Black
It's a bullshit.
Friday,
It's a bullshit
it's
prediction.
definitely
That's
already
fine.
happened.
That's
It's
fine.
not official.
That's fine. I'll take it
You're
off
out.
the list. Hey, you
You're
gotta
out.
try it. You gotta try it.
You got to try.
You gotta try.
I saw you slithering like a weasel. You know, you
I'm
came
like,
straight
hey.
through.
It literally hasn't been confirmed. So but that's bullshit. Okay, so that's fine. Okay, so which one? Okay, here's my next one. Microsoft's Activision Blizzard deal closes.
Fine.
Okay, okay. I have a similar prediction to this. So it will close and they own it.
They will successfully acquire Activision Blizzard. That doesn't mean that it won't be without concession, but they will successfully acquire them.
This year, you mean? So you can't
Yes,
in
in
2024 be like,
yeah, it has to be
cool.
all of these are in 2023.
Right. Okay.
The deal will close. So, like, if it gets delayed to 2024 and then closes, I obviously still wouldn't get that point. Because at the end of the year, we don't know that it's closed.
And can I clarify now that you can't say that because if it gets shut down, they're closing the door on it. That doesn't count, right? It has to be
I put in the box that Microsoft will successfully acquire Activision Blizzard and the deal will close.
Better.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
better.
it's that, and that's what I mean. Like, it will be done. It will be done and dusted this year.
Cool. Just got to get the legalese down on Pete's predictions here, just to get it in.
That's what you should do. That's what we should all be doing. I'm glad that you guys have decided to play the game right this year.
I didn't play it last year anyway.
Played the game right last year. I got you down as saying we had to have certified fresh, and yet somehow you managed to wiggle that point because you wouldn't accept that you said certified fresh.
No, you forced me to say
had
it.
the
That's the
fucking
thing.
badge.
Don't let him upset you, Steve. All right, let's keep it civil.
Keep it
down
clean.
this-
Keep it clean,
Keep
everybody.
it civil. Keep it civil on the right third, the right 2/3 of the screen.
Mhm.
So the left is the devil's side. So this is one I spoke about on Nintendo
That's
News
true.
a few weeks ago, I think, which is that Tears of the Kingdom will feature Zelda as a playable character. I'm hesitant to include the whole spiel I gave before because I feel like that's too specific. I'm going to say that. Actually, are you guys okay with that being a
This
prediction?
is
or do you want
fine.
me to be
If
more
you get more
specific?
specific, I think
Absolutely
you're
fine.
only risking you losing
right.
points.
I leave it there.
But tell me the specificity because I do want to hear it. It doesn't have to be part of the prediction.
I just
Okay,
want to
so my-
say, this is why we used to do fractional points. Because if you had gotten more
Right.
specific and part of it was right and the other
Yeah.
part wasn't, you would have still gotten points.
We're not doing it. We're not
But
doing
we're
fractional points. So my
you're safe.
reasoning was on the episode of Nintendo Noise was that I had a feeling that similar to how in the Last of Us trailer, not going to spoil it actually, but there was a character in the Last of Us trailer that wasn't actually there. They were edited in for the trailer to make you think that they were there, and similar to the Infinity War trailer where Hulk was edited in as opposed to in one of the fight scenes, but he wasn't. Never was.
Yeah,
the
the
Hulk in
actual movie, he's in the Hulkbuster armor instead.
Exactly,
It's like
yeah,
things
yeah.
like that. Trying to fake us out.
Yes, and I feel like that the Blue Link segments from the Tears of the Kingdom trailer are all going to be Zelda, and that all of the bits that are the Link in the green tunic with the long hair is Link. And I feel like they're just using the Link model from the start of the game when he first gets infected by the hand as like a placeholder, and that all the stuff we've seen of Link, that the big statue we saw of Link with the arm in the blue tunic is from the beginning of the game. And also, if you look at the key art and the box art for the game, there is a space next to Link where you could quite easily just slot a Zelda. So
This is my
Yeah.
favorite conspiracy theory I've ever heard about video games. Because I'm not sitting here saying I think that you're not, that it's totally nothing. That could be true. I think what you're saying makes sense, but it's also could be an absolutely super heavy read. But I think it makes just enough sense that I'm like, fuck, what if he's right? Like, if he's right, that's going to be hype as hell. Like, that
I've
will
just
be
sent the
one of
key
the
art to
coolest
you.
predictions that's ever come true. Like, that would
I've
be...
just sent the key art to you guys personally. Just look at that quickly and tell me there's not an entire space next to Link.
There is, but there was also enough room on the raft for Jack to get on, but it doesn't mean it happened. So it's like you could just be hoping and praying that something's gonna happen.
I am hoping and praying. That's what a prediction is,
Yeah.
right?
I think it's a solid. I,
don't
think it's a solid
gonna
enough
happen,
prediction.
Personally,
What'd you say?
I don't think it's going to happen personally, but I do think
fine.
that there's something in there. I think it's two different characters.
I think you should have saved that for your risky pick because I definitely would have been that's risky. And if you're all right, 2 points. Who's to say?
I've got a riskier pick, man.
I've got two that are similar to both of yours. I'm going to go with the one that's more similar to Max's, which is Link Will Die in Tears of the Kingdom.
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
So I think he's out there. I think in one way or another, whether it's at the end of the game, whether it's in the middle of the game, and you switch to a different character, I think Link will die in Tears of the
He'll
Kingdom.
be back.
I don't think
He'll
so.
be back, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't
back.
see Nintendo killing Link. It just doesn't feel.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see.
I think that's what the tears are for.
Ah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. You know what? I like it. I like where your head's at. I don't know, but I like it.
That's nice. We should do an entire episode where we just predict about this game because this is some hot shit, man.
This is good. Yeah.
This is good stuff.
Okay. Let's see. Which one do we want to do next here?
No, it's tough, isn't it? Because you want to get the ones that you think other people have got, but
Yeah.
you also want ones that are like possibility, more possible.
Yeah, because
new
like I have
tactic-
some that I'm like, I think this will happen, and I also think no one else will predict this, so I shouldn't waste it, right? And I should try to pick something
like,
I think
do you do
someone
it
else.
early or do you do that later? Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also like I only have 8 more, and I have like 12 left.
More for you. More for you for picking so many.
I've got 25 left.
Damn, what? You came up with 27? Damn.
I'll read the rest of them out. At
Steve's
the end.
putting his
I'll
homework
flip
in
through
this
them.
year. I like it.
He's a ridiculous man.
Okay. All right. Okay. Number 3, I'm going to say Ubisoft will no longer remain independent. Or this is the other way I wanted to state it, and you tell me which one we're more comfortable with. Ubisoft is acquired or liquidated.
I'm
The
fine with
sec-
either of those. Whatever you two decide.
As long as you agree that if they close, that also solves this, right? Because I don't want to say, oh, I said that they won't be independent. Oh, they don't exist anymore. So that
then you have to pick the second one. You'd have to pick the second one of the liquidated one. If that's what you want to say, you can't say they're not independent, and then if they close, you still claim that point. So if you want to cover both grounds, I would go with the second wording.
Yeah, I'm happy with an
okay,
or in there.
then let's go with that. Because my point is that I believe that they are heading towards trouble. Trouble will continue, and they will either close down and their IP will be sold off like THQ was, or they'll reach a deal and they'll be acquired by a parent company.
I'm okay with that.
That's what I think is going to happen.
I'm not as upset.
Okay, and there we go.
Yeah, I don't agree. I think I looked at their stock price earlier, and yeah, they've gone from astronomical highs in 2018 when there was Assassin's Creed and all of the Tom Clancy games. But I think they can turn it around pretty easily. They've just made some bad bets.
You're
The
right.
whole NFT thing was bad.
But I think
they've obviously had some really bad delays.
I think it's a bad pattern, right? So I think right now, Ubisoft is they tried to sell, right? If you believe Jeff Grubb, right? They tried to sell. No one was interested, and they were like laughed out because they were asking for a price that was too high for what they were worth. They've had a consistent talent drain over the last couple of years. They've had a lot of their senior team leaders and people that are veterans of the studios that were their most successful leave the company for greener pastures. They've had reports of having a toxic company culture. They've had these brush ups with, like you said, the things that you've identified. They've had a couple notable failures, games that have consistently undersold and underperformed. They have multiple major projects that have been delayed several times. And I think between those bad bets, those failures, and everything else, right? Not to mention the fact that their most consistently bankable IP in Assassin's Creed is about to try to pivot to become a service style game. And I don't know if people are going to respond to that. So I think all of those things point to a company that is in a lot of trouble and doesn't have a short-term solution in sight. I don't think that any of the teams they have there right now have a huge success that is going to change the company's fortune, able to hit a deadline this year. And we had a statement from Yves Guillemot earlier today where there was an internal email that was leaked that he was saying it's on you to really step it up and hit your deadlines and everything this year because we're struggling. And if you recall, right, when Ubisoft had this problem a couple years ago, when they were at risk of being hostily taken over, their company culture was very strong. The people were very behind the Guillemot family and Yves in particular. And I think in the last couple of years, that loyalty and that trust in Ubisoft's leadership has been completely eroded. And I think that's why they're having a talent drain and probably talent acquisition problem at this point. So I think while you're probably right that they could turn things around if they were maybe to get like another set of angel investment or whatever. I don't know that they have enough time. And I think that they are at risk of having like a death by 1,000 cuts. And it's not any one thing that leads to their demise, but it's a couple years of consistently bad decisions and games that underperformed and just failed to meet expectations. Even like Mario plus Rabbids 2, right? Which was a game that was critically well received, sold very poorly compared to what they had expected. So
that's because they launched they dropped the first game down to like 15 quid and then pushed it at 15 quid for 4 years. That's what that's about. And this one I picked up for 30 quid. I picked it up for almost half price a few months after launch. Like I don't think that's anything. I think that's on them really. Also, you say Ubisoft or Ubisoft?
I don't know.
Americans say Ubisoft, and everyone in the UK says Ubisoft.
It is Ubisoft.
I don't really know which one it is. I think it's Ubisoft.
It is Ubisoft because the games say a Ubisoft.
I know,
original.
not an Ubisoft original.
That doesn't matter.
What do you mean?
It does. A Ubisoft original. That sounds
Ubisoft.
bizarre.
It would be an either way.
No, it wouldn't. No, it would not.
Ubisoft.
An Ubisoft or a Ubisoft.
It's you though. The letter is still you.
The way
it's not
you,
the letter,
the way
it's the sound.
Yeah, Max is right. It's because it sounds like a Y, so it's so it's not a vowel.
That must be a dialect difference because that is not what I've been taught, and I edit content.
Cheers to being right, Steve. Cheers to being right.
I mean, if I'm wrong, I'd be like American English. That would be extremely surprising to me, but maybe so. But yeah, I think you're probably right that it is Ubisoft because I believe it's supposed to be ubiquitous software, right? Like Ubisoft, isn't that the portmanteau?
No, but I've heard Yves say Ubi, but that could just be because he's French.
Ubisoft.
So
I shouldn't do accents, but
okay.
The rule
whatever.
is based on the first sound of the word immediately after the article a or an. Uranium is a hard Y sound where I live anyway, so the correct article is an A. So like honor, you wouldn't say it's at honor. You would say it's
honor
an
doesn't
honor.
start with
honor.
No.
Starts with an H.
Honor starts with an H.
That's not
an H. An H is seen as a vowel.
No, it's not. That's not a thing here. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
So why do you say an honor rather than a honor?
Look,
because it's
we can argue about this on one more thing. We need to move on.
Like what Max
It's
said
the
is
sound,
absolutely
not
right.
the letter. It's the sound.
It's the sound. It sounds like an O, honor. So it's an honor. So you say an instead of a honor.
You're right. People do say that. Let's move on.
Thank you. Is it me again?
Yeah.
Sorry. Max.
Uh,
that was your handbrake, Max. No more.
This guy's like, oh, guys, I gotta go to bed. I gotta wake up for work, and he's fucking arguing with me.
Yeah,
about...
then you
just
then you
say
make
number 3. Just say number 3. Just say it. Just say which one is number 3.
Can I get a word in, please, Pete? My number 3 is I think we're going to see now. This one you might make me change the wording. It. I think we're going to see something Bloodborne, whether that's PC 2 or a remake / remaster.
No, I think you have to plant your flag on one of them.
Yeah, you need to word that better. So like a Bloodborne PC remake will be announced.
A Bloodborne game comes out this year. No, sorry, a Bloodborne game is revealed this year. Is what I meant to say there. A Bloodborne game is revealed this year.
I'm fine with that, but then that wouldn't. If you're saying a Bloodborne game is revealed, I think like if they're like, hey, it's coming to PC, that doesn't feel like that counts to me.
It's a remake. Like if it's a remaster, like it's Bloodborne remastered, I think you can have that. And
Bloodborne Ultimate Edition, right?
I think that counts.
But if it's just like the way that Horizon Zero Dawn came to PC, Days Gone came to PC, that's not revealing a new game.
Yeah, so I don't think they do it unless they give it like a Demon Soul style treatment. Or so I think so I'm going with a Bloodborne game is revealed this year.
Okay.
And I've put not a straight port. on your prediction.
That was Bloodborne comes to PC was one of mine. So.
All right. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go with this one. Game Freak will apologize for the bugs and issues in Scarlet and Violet and will not release a new Pokemon in 2023.
Okay.
I think you might have. I think the first one is unlikely enough as it is. And I feel like you're making it too hard by adding the second
I don't think
bit.
there's a chance in hell you get that point, but you're the one who wanted to change the rules.
So
So
yeah, that's fine.
go for it.
Yeah, you need both of those for a whole point. So yeah,
Correct. Yeah.
have it. Treat
Okay.
yourself.
I don't know what's happened to the format.
That's fine. We know what it says. Okay, my number 4 is Armored Core 6 is delayed.
Ooh.
It's supposed to come out this year. I don't think it will.
Okay.
Elden Ring
Then,
just
you know
came
what?
out. Max thinks there's going to be Elden Ring DLC. I don't see how they did both of those at the same time.
They did
Two different
Sekiro at the same
teams.
time as Elden Ring.
Not really, though. That came out in 2019, and then Elden Ring came out 2 years later.
They announced
they
Elden
start-
Ring before, though, right?
Yeah, they started working on Elden Ring. I think Elden Ring was revealed in 2020. They started working on Elden Ring just after Dark Souls 3 was finished. They've got 2 teams. So I actually had an Armored Core one as well that I was going to say. I think that Armored Core not on release. Okay, Armored Core becomes the best-selling game in the franchise in its first week. So the game
Damn,
comes out.
that's a good prediction. I think that's very
Yeah.
likely if it
So,
comes out.
Armored Core 6 will be the bestseller that week.
No, the best-selling game in the franchise in the first week.
Within 1 week.
Okay.
Because I think if I
And,
just said
they have to
best-selling,
put, and how are we gonna log that? Are they gonna like put out a press release? Like, how do we accurately?
yeah. So if
figure that
they
out?
announce that, oh yeah, this is like, because they announced Elden Ring sales, like first week sales. They announced like if
Yeah.
a game does well, generally these companies announce it, and also analysts will say, oh, Pokemon sold this much, God of War sold this much. Like we do generally get 1 week sales, whether that's from an official source or from analysts. I'm not going to take VG charts and stuff like that. It has to be from like an official analyst who has access to data that normal people don't have access to, not based on hunches or theories, or if FromSoft just comes straight out and say, we've sold this much in a week, and then we can track based on the previous game sales. All right, cool, that's sold more than every other game.
I feel
Okay.
like that's pretty much a lock if it happens, because the last one that came out was on PS5, and it doesn't look like it.
PS5.
I'm sorry, PS3. It was Armored Core 5 on PS3. I just flipped them. I mean, and it looks like it sold fine, but like, I mean, just like From
Think about
Software was
everything
not
that's
a
happened.
household name in the
Yeah.
way they are now, right? Like, people fucking love From Software, and I
Mhm.
think there are a lot of people that are, Souls fans that have never touched Armored Core that will at least consider giving it a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Max, I've worded that as Armored Core 6 will be announced as the best-selling game in the franchise within the first week by FromSoft or a reputable analyst. Are you happy with that?
Yes, I'm okay with that. Well, it doesn't have to be by FromSoft. It could be by Bandai Namco if they're publishing.
Okay.
By dev/publisher,
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
don't you just say an official source?
All right, an official source works for me.
Because I don't think an analyst is an official source.
No,
That's
no,
the
no,
thing,
I-
right?
But you have the or. So I'd say an official source
Okay.
or an analyst. Because I agree. I think if an analyst has sales reports and they're like, hey, we can measurably see that it sold this much, then that's fine. That's
Yeah,
legitimate.
like I could see Daniel Ahmed or someone
Yeah.
tweeting about it.
I think we
Now,
all know
can
what
I-
a legitimate source is or not, right? Max
Sorry.
said, like, we're not
Yeah,
going to
yeah, yeah.
consider a VG charts type website, which I think is the
Can
way
I-
to go.
Add a correction to this. I don't think it will be announced in the first week. I think that they will announce that in the first week it did it. So they might announce it the week later and say in 1 week sales, because they won't announce the sales until a week on a day, a week on 2 days, something like that.
So,
They
okay,
might
why
not
don't
even
you
say
say
so for,
Armored
like-
I'll
Core
do
6?
based on first week sales.
Yes.
Or you could just take out the announced. Say Armored Core 6 will be the best-selling game in the franchise within 1 week of release.
Yeah.
Because that's right
Okay,
either way.
yep.
Yeah.
Great.
Cool. Thank you.
Good prediction. I like that one.
Thank you.
Oh,
I hope you're wrong, but only because I
hate Armored Core.
No, I like Armored Core. I was an Armored Core kid on PS2 back in the day. So I would love for it to come out and be great.
Now you actively hate on Elden Ring and a podcast you have as well. I can't
I
believe
know.
what a.
It's like the ultimate hipster opinion, and I hate it because it's not on purpose.
Do they still have lead paint in America? Have you been chomping on the walls and now?
God. All right, you're up, Steve.
So my number 3 is a Sony-owned studio will release an original game day and date on PS5 and another platform. And it cannot be something like MLB The Show, but something like Marvel Spider-Man would count.
So a Sony Studios game, but that has to simultaneously launch on. Now we're not saying another platform. You don't mean PS4, right?
No, I mean another platform.
Why
So
don't you say
mean-
a non-PlayStation platform?
Yeah, Xbox, PC, Nintendo Switch.
Okay, I'll
mobile,
just say
something like
on
that.
PlayStation
Good.
and another platform.
Good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
So
I'm okay with that.
I think it's either coming to mobile or PC day and date.
Yeah.
And I wanted to cover both bases.
Yeah. Okay. So that includes anything by Bungie too, right?
Yes.
Cool.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
point. Well, actually, are they? Were they?
You could
Hang on,
be
were they?
They're owned by
wait.
Sony. They are owned by Sony.
They
But
operate
are they
independently, but they are owned by Sony, which is what it says.
Oh, okay. It says Sony owned studio. That says. All right, fine. Okay. I thought it was gonna be like the way it was like when it says Sony Studios at the start, like the MCU stuff, right?
Yeah.
No, it's
It doesn't
any
have-
studio owned by Sony Interactive Entertainment.
Because you said that. You didn't say a PlayStation studio.
Yeah,
Which would
yeah,
be different.
Yeah,
I
Smart.
wasn't stupid.
Clever.
No,
All right,
you
fine.
good. You're good. You did your
That's
homework.
fine. Yeah.
All right. Number 5. Okay. I'm going to tell you what. I should have been thinking about which one I wanted to do next earlier.
Sorry for being so entertaining. As to
Yeah, I mean, you guys had good predictions. I was into it. Okay. Okay. I'm going to take a page out of Steve's book here and jump off that last one. Bungie's first new project under PlayStation is revealed.
I'm okay with that. I have no arguments. I would also.
I think it could be a long shot, but
No, I don't think it's a long shot at all.
I would like to jump in now with there are. Okay, actually, when I say this, if you guys know of something I don't know and I've forgotten,
Yeah,
while
we'll call
saying
you out.
this, can you? No, as in like I want you to be. You have to be a bro here because if I say something and then you don't say it, okay,
yeah, no, I don't want to be scummy about this, right? Like let's keep it sportsmanlike.
there are no first-party cross-gen games from PlayStation this year. So every PlayStation game is in the PlayStation Studios game, not counting Bungie because I'm saying PlayStation Studios, right? There
Okay.
are no cross-gen games. So every
Released
game
or
that comes out
announced?
released. So every game that comes out is a PS5 only game from Sony as a first party.
I think that's too easy. Because
No, I
based
don't.
on
Because I have another
had-
one that I had another one which was that they will continue to release games on PS4.
yeah, but I think that's different because I think
We have
Let me
literally
make my
have
argument.
evidence. Okay, fine.
let me make my argument, and if we still disagree, we can talk about it. But I think the reason I don't like this is because I think right now the only games they have announced are PS5 exclusive, right? So saying that, oh, there will be a game that comes out on PS4 is a prediction that goes against what is currently established. Whereas I think what you're predicting is that any new games that they announce will be PS5 exclusive when, to my knowledge, I feel like they have more or less confirmed that God of War and Horizon were the last 2 games they had planned for PS4.
I don't remember seeing any confirmation like that, but I will say that God of War came out only 2 months ago on both.
But that was because they promised that prior to the PlayStation 5's release.
You're basing your all the games that are announced are only coming to PS5 on one game, and that one game is Spider-Man. We don't know anything else really about this year, so I don't know if one game being announced is enough to sway this. Personally, I don't know. Steve, what are your thoughts on this? You're sort of you're the middleman here, so you need to make a decision.
It's tough because there is also the precedent.
Sorry, I'm the middleman. I'm the middleman.
You're the middle guy.
I'm right.
Sorry.
He's the right guy.
Right guy.
Sorry.
There is also the precedent that the DLC for Horizon is PS5 only as well, right?
Correct.
That is correct.
And that is a game that was
correct.
released cross-gen this year.
Yeah.
So I think
and
the
then is
idea that
no
they're going to
longer-
reveal a new game that, like, you know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
I
Alright,
don't
okay,
think...
I'm happy to relinquish then. I'm happy to relinquish. And
Okay.
we speak no more of it, so I can get in another one.
Okay.
I don't lose a turn, or I get to go.
No, yeah.
No, you can go again.
Of course not.
Yeah.
I think that Forspoken's Metacritic score will be below 77%.
That's such a specific number.
Okay.
Well, I thought, if I said 80, I thought you guys would say it was too high. 75, I feel like is too low. I think 77 is the sweet spot. If I can have 80, I'll take 80. But I thought
I thought
that
this
80
could be. I think this could be under like 60. I don't think this game.
I think
very well at all.
I think you're allowed to say that.
80.
You want 80.
I'll have 80. It's under.
I think
80.
it's going to be below 100.
Yeah.
That's no good. You can't do that.
Okay, fine. Then I'm going to say below 80.
Because I think the point that you're making is that it's going to have a lukewarm or worse reception, right? Whereas I think most people would agree that, like, on the general scale of video games, right, it's like 10 is a masterpiece, 9 is great, 8 is good, 7 is average, 6 or below is you should never even play it, right?
Yeah. So I think it's going to get sort of middling, 6.
I think that's
under,
fine.
under-
I think that's a
under
fine
80.
prediction.
All right, cool. Wait, is that even out this year?
It is.
Yeah, Forspoken's out
Currently
this year,
slated for this
allegedly.
year.
Yeah, allegedly.
All right.
So, of course, if it doesn't release, that's a problem for you, but
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
it's only a couple months
Okay.
out, so you're probably fine.
I'm going to go with one that's related to Pete's, which is Bungie will announce a new game in the Marathon franchise, the first in 23 years.
What? What is Marathon? I don't even know what that is.
It's
Marathon
a
was
chocolate bar.
the trilogy they made before Halo, and it was exclusive to Mac platforms for a very long time. Came to the Bandai Pippin in 1996. And so this is a very old franchise.
You're
and they
teaching me
still own
something
it.
here, man.
I didn't realize we were
Halo
jumping
is-
straight to wildcard picks. I thought.
Halo is in the Marathon universe, and I feel like they
Wait,
can't
really?
do Halo. Yes, I feel like they can't do Halo because Microsoft owns it, but they miss it, and I think they'll go back to Marathon. And
Do
I
they
think that's
own it,
what
though?
Their next project's going to be. They own Marathon, yeah. But yeah, they've not released anything related to Marathon for a very, very long time.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big one.
I like it. I think it's weird and very specific, but okay. Like I'm here for it. That's good.
Yeah.
That's cool. Okay.
Yeah, I feel like it's basically the same prediction as yours, but just a lot more convoluted. It's the exact same, right?
Yeah, because if yours is right, I get the point too.
Yeah,
I'm like, cool,
yeah.
great. Like, yeah. It's like, what if? See, and that's what I'm talking about, man. Like, you're screwing yourself out of points here. You're getting so.
I don't care. I think it's more fun to have specific predictions. I don't know. I think it's fun anyway.
New project. So we call it. Yeah, that's a new project. Ignore me. That is a new.
A new marathon game is definitely. a
No,
new
no. I'm
project.
talking. No, I'm talking about. Yeah,
Pete.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
mine.
trying
Yes.
to name Peters. Yeah.
Right.
I would never.
It
speak
can't
badly
be.
of
It can't be a Destiny expansion though. New
Yeah.
project can't be a Destiny.
No.
expansion.
Yeah, I'm saying it's like something new.
They're unrelated to Destiny.
Cool.
Yeah, that's fine. I wouldn't try to argue that one. I'm like, the DLC for Destiny 2 is a new project. It's like, yeah, okay, come on. Like, so Fortnite will have another season pass, you know? It's like, yeah, come on. Like, we've got a lot more predictions to do, but before we do that, let me take a minute to just remind you that this episode of the FlipScreen Games Podcast is brought to you by our Patreon producers for the month of January. They are, of course, Anthony Gonzalez, Christian Oliveria, Christopher Valenz, Earth Visitor, Gabriel Hasselmeyer, a.k.a. Asobi, Mary Berry, Matthew MQC, Ty the Dude, Wakahula, and Zaid Ida. Thank you all so much for your support over on patreon.com/FlipScreenGames. You're all the real, still the real, and we greatly appreciate your support of this and all of our sister shows. Remember, if you want to become a Patreon producer, if you want to write into the show, however you want to get involved, head over to flipscreen.games and become a member of the community. We greatly appreciate your support, and thank you for tuning in to this week's show. Let's get back to it. Okay. Okay, I have a couple really good ones. Okay, I'll go with this one. Xbox will release the most first-party games since the Series X/S launch.
I think we
I'm
already
okay
know
with
this is
that.
happening.
Oh,
Do we, though?
Yes, they've announced that there are going to be release dates for 3 games announced at that Direct in
At that event.
January.
Yeah.
We already know Starfield's coming this year. So we already know there's 4 new games coming from their studios this year. And that is the most already that they've announced.
So they would
and
have to put out
released.
one more game.
Yeah, that's it. And I feel like we already know it's going to happen. For me, that's too obvious. But if Max disagrees, then it's fine.
give me the wording one more time.
Xbox will release the most first-party games since the Series X/S launch.
I think you should give a number to it that's higher than 4 or whatever the number is. I think you set the number we already know about, and then the prediction should be
Isn't that the
a
same
number
prediction,
more
though?
than that.
Because it's
Not
like,
necessarily.
Yeah.
because it would be, I would
Yeah.
just pick whatever the next number
You
is,
just say
right? Like if it's
5
4,
or
I say
6,
5.
yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, sorry. What I'm saying is you'd have
It
to
has
have
to
a
be
number that
one
would make,
more than that.
you'd have to pick a number that would make that prediction less obvious than
Sets.
one game, right? They
Gotcha.
could release one game because then also like you know all they would need to do is do like and also I know of some stuff.
You know what?
I
If
think-
if you guys think it's that, I'll back off this one then.
Well, we know
I
about
just know-
Starfield, Redfall, Forza Motorsport, and there was one more that I think they
Yeah,
announced
but it's
was
like, but
coming.
I guess you're right. But my thing is, I don't think all those games are coming out. Like, I don't think Redfall's coming out this year. I don't think that it's gonna make it out. You know?
I mean, you can make that a prediction if you want to say Redfall will be delayed. Then
No,
you're more
that's
than
fine.
welcome
That's
to
fine.
do that. But
I'll concede that one. I think it's fair to say that it's vague in a way, or it's like too easy to be achieved. Okay, so fine. I'll go with this one. Persona 6 will be announced.
oh yeah, you can have that one.
I'll allow it.
I think
I
now's
don't,
the time.
I don't think that's happening.
I think now's the time. Persona 5 came out several years ago at this point. Persona 5 Royal came out several years ago at this point. They've taken to porting every entry in the franchise to every platform available. I think Persona is the most popular that it's been, and I think it makes sense now to, make to start developing interest in what comes next. And I think even if it's a couple years away, they announced Persona 5 like 7 years before it came out or something like that.
Oh, same with Shin Megami Tensei, right?
Right.
That was announced like 2017 and came out like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
January 2017.
So,
on
like, the
Switch
idea-
Switch reveal.
The idea that they would want to do that this year, it makes sense to me. I don't think it's a lock, but I think it's highly likely.
No, I could see that, especially considering you've got the re-release of Persona 4 and Persona 3 on other platforms as well coming this month.
So it's like, imagine after that, right? They do an event,
Yeah, I could see that.
fever pitch,
Good
right?
prediction.
Okay, me again. I am going to say that. How many have we got left? 5, 4,
5 for you.
You have
5.
5 left.
5 left. Okay, cool. Then I will go with Konami continues to revive old franchises with third-party developers. Obviously, not including any of the Silent Hill stuff that was already announced, but whether they decide to do Metal Gear Solid, Konami, or whatever again, but it has to have a third-party developer involved, whether they're remastering something or making a new version of something or making a new game in a series. There has to be a third-party developer involved.
I like that.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
That's solid. I think it makes
But
sense too.
excluding Silent Hill and excluding Castlevania.
So it would have to be something new.
Something. Yeah. So not
How about instead of
excluding what's
continue,
already been announced.
why don't you say Konami revives another franchise with a third-party developer?
I still want to be able. If they announce another Silent Hill game, I still want that to count.
Okay,
All the ones that currently that we don't already
Okay,
know
so-
about.
Konami announces new games exclusively with third parties.
Or say
And so if they announce
Konami
one,
announces at least one new game with a third-party partner.
Yeah,
but I think it has to
reviving a
exclusively
franchise.
be with third parties because that was Max's initial prediction. It wasn't the.
That's what I said.
It was the
with a
Konami's
third-party partner.
Yeah, but you said, but that leaves interpretation that they could also do the games themselves in house, and I think the
No, that
No,
would
it
be
has
third
to be
party.
has to be a third party involved.
yeah, that's my thing. But the way you worded it, Pete, was it was like Konami announces one game with third parties, but they could also do games then in house on their own.
But
Max's
that
initial
wouldn't achieve
prediction
Max's. That wouldn't
Yeah,
achieve Max.
whereas Max's initial prediction was like exclusively with third parties, right?
We're
Well, hang
saying
on,
the
why-
same thing. Yeah, I don't understand why.
Sorry, let me. No. It just says Konami continues. So when I say exclusively, I mean that when if they reveal a new Castlevania that's built in house, that doesn't count. If they reveal a new
Right.
Castlevania that's been done by a third party, that counts.
They
If
are
reveal
partnering with a third-party developer
Yeah,
to
but
make a
you
game.
said exclusively, right?
Oh, I
So
didn't
say
say
they do
exclusively.
one-
I've not got it written
Oh, right,
down.
okay.
I think I was just saying like specifically, it has to be made by a third party developer. Not
You
okay.
might have said
I'm not- yeah, I'm
exclusively,
not-
but I think what you meant was that would be the way you would get a point. It's only if this happens.
Yeah, I don't mean like they release 6 games with third party developers and they release one game themselves and it fucks me up completely. I'm saying that that they will release a new game in an old franchise that's
Released.
partnership with a not necessarily release,
Announces is what he said.
reveal. Yeah. They reveal a new game in an old franchise with a third party developer, and it can't be Dead Cells, and it can't be this shouldn't be as complicated as it is. It can't be Dead Cells, can't be the new Silent Hill stuff we already know about. Has to be a new thing, but it can be in Castlevania and it can be in Silent Hill.
Yeah,
as long
no,
as
you
it's a
said one
announcement.
new game. I think that covers you, right? Because if
At
it's
least.
Yeah,
if
that's
they
fine.
announce another game from a franchise they've already revived, that's kosher.
And don't get me up on
Okay.
you said one game because no, there's 2.
No, we've
No,
put at least.
we
So
put
I've
at
worded it
least
as
one.
Yeah, I've worded it as Konami announces at least one new game for an existing franchise with a third party.
And I'll add
developer.
this. I also, and this is in your favor, Max, so don't say I never did anything for you. I would say if
Never.
it's a remake done by a third party studio, that still counts. So like if
Yeah,
they
like
do like a
Overton.
Metal Gear Solid 1 remaster, right, with
And
Blue
Bluepoint's
Point,
involved or
right, at
whatever,
Sony,
or-
right?
yeah. Yeah.
That counts.
I'm okay with that as well.
Cool. Steve, number 6.
So my number 6 is
Got some good ones. Got some good ones here, boys.
Tears of the Kingdom will take obvious inspiration from Elden Ring. For example, Souls-like combat, a horse you can spawn, no markers on the map or quest log, etc.
I feel
Not
like
a
Horse You Can
chance.
Spawn isn't from Elden Ring. Horse You Can Spawn is like Witcher 3 and it's
Ghost of Tsushima.
all the Ghost of Tsushima, all the Assassin's Creeds where you go whistle, you turn around and it's right there.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. It's just Elden Ring made
Like
it
a
more of
magic
magical
horse,
thing.
though. That's
Okay,
what I'm
fine.
thinking.
Okay.
I could kind of see
Okay.
it being a robo horse.
I
think
feel-
it needs
I
to
think it's
be-
been in
it needs to
development
be
for
obvious.
too long. The idea that it's going to take influence from a game that came out a year before it comes out, I don't know.
My issue with this is that we're gonna there's no way of proving that that came from Elden Ring. There's no inspiration for it. Also, Steve could pick out something that Elden Ring has that other games also have. Like it has to be exclusive
Okay,
to
if you-
Elden Ring.
If you're unhappy with it, I'll swap it out.
I think it's too vague.
It's very subjective. Like
Because it's like also it's like what is
inspired by
Souls
Elden
like
Ring, but
combat,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like we could argue about that when it comes out, and it's like, oh, it was harder, and it's like, okay, but like
Okay, fine. We'll go with this one then.
I know you have
Valve
like
will
30
launch-
other ones too. So
I do. Valve will launch a subscription service.
Nice. That's actually
That's a good one.
Good one. Yeah.
I can see that. I was trying to come up with some good Steam Deck ones, and I was struggling. Like
Yeah,
they're
I'm not
too
sure what
they're
it's
too
gonna
wild.
do.
They just make decisions. I can't predict what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it could be anything, right? Because you could do a subscription service when they start charging for like online services. They could do a subscription service where it's like a Game Pass style thing, or they could do something like Humble Choice where you get a set number of games each month, or maybe it's like PlayStation Plus where you get like one game and another bunch of other things, kind of thing. I could see them doing some kind of subscription service.
Yeah. I'm okay. I've got no issues with that at all.
That could be. We got 4 left here. And I'm struggling because I think all the ones I have left are actually pretty good. Okay. This one's too vague. You're not going to let me do this one.
What is it then?
Current gen hardware will become easier to acquire as console shortages finally end.
Yeah, they've already. So Sony already announced.
Yeah, it's
that
like already
the
a
end
thing.
of the console thing happened.
And it's also like that's like how do you measure that, right? Like it's too.
Yeah,
It's
there
too
was a piece
nebulous.
I think it was a piece on Polygon where someone like called up a bunch of stores and like it was like something like 80% of them just had PlayStation 5s on the shelf.
A buddy of mine, I posted an Instagram story the other day where he's like, I found a PS5 in the wild. Nature is healing. Yeah, we're in a good spot with that. Okay. This is also too vague, so I'll just read this one. Vampires are the next big trend in gaming. There's like
I think they
5
already
games
are.
with vampires coming out this year. And then Vampire Survivors have obviously popped off, even though it doesn't actually, but okay. Okay, here's a good one. GTA 6 will be officially revealed.
I have this on my list.
Because and what that means, right?
That.
They've currently said the next game is in development, right? So I think what they're going to do is be like, hey, like this is GTA 6, right? And like that might just be them officially confirming the things that we now think we know, right? Of like, here's the logo, it's set here, the characters are this, whatever, right? Like they're going to
I could see us having a trailer.
Yeah, they're gonna
we'll have a
publicly
trailer.
acknowledge it, whether or not we actually see gameplay footage or if it's like a cinematic or whatever, right? Like I don't know, but I think that
Yeah,
Rockstar
like,
will formally like talk about the project in a way they
Yeah.
haven't yet.
So,
Aside from
so when-
acknowledging that it exists.
Yeah, so when GTA 5 was first revealed, they had the cinematic trailer where it had, it was basically the intro to the game, I think, if I remember rightly, where it was like you cut across the beach and yada yada, and then the logo came up, right? Or are you saying if they go GTA 5, GTA 6 is coming, are you accepting that, or does it have to be like here's a trailer, here's a logo?
I think it has to be.
I think it'll be on Rockstar's website. It has to be like on their news page because
Right.
that's how they did it with GTA 5. It was like GTA 5 announcement.
Yeah, I think it has to be a step above that because they've already said yes, it's in development, right? So like it needs to be. I think a logo crosses that threshold. I think a formal press release crosses that threshold. I think a trailer crosses that threshold. Obviously, right? I think it's like they will, formally present and talk about it and be like, this is a product that's imminent, not. Yeah, of course
Agreed.
we're working on the next Grand Theft Auto, right?
Yeah, so the way they announced GTA 5 was just on their website on November 3rd, 2011. They just said, we are proud to officially announce that GTA 5 is in full development with the logo, and then just told a little bit of information about who was developing it, what the story was going to be about, that kind of thing. So
yeah, I think it'll be.
That's an announcement.
I think it'll be akin to that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully more than that. I would love to get a trailer, but we'll see.
I'm okay with it. So
Max number 7.
In a similar vein, I think we will get the what's the best word for this? The name of Elder Scrolls 6 this year.
Okay, yeah.
So whether it's the Elder Scrolls 6, and then it's probably their place names, right?
Why don't you say
Or, I
like
don't know.
Elder Scrolls 6 subtitle? Will
They're
be
not always
confirmed.
place names.
Skyrim,
Oblivion wasn't a place
Oblivion. Oh
name.
yeah, good point. Yeah, so Skyrim, Oblivion, Morrowind, like we'll get the name.
Yeah,
Yeah. But it still counts if they're just going with Elder Scrolls 6. If this game is called Elder Scrolls 6, and we know that that's how it's launching, I want that to be accepted. We're going to get the launch name of Elder Scrolls 6.
I'll give you it. Yeah, if that happens.
Yeah.
I don't think it will. I think you're right.
Yeah,
they will just
fine.
follow the naming convention they've already established.
Yeah. But I don't want
um,
to screw myself out and say the subheading.
Yeah.
They don't do a subheading.
Fair enough. Yeah. And I will say, Sarah liked that one a lot. She got a thumbs up.
And I will say there's zero fucking chance that's happening.
I also think there is zero
They're
fucking
releasing
chance that's happening.
Starfield, and there's a bunch of Elder Scrolls Online shit happening this year.
But hey, dream
I
big.
think an announcement. I think they can announce. At E3, you just go, and just one last thing, Elder Scrolls 6.
You're not wrong because they
like-
literally did that with Elder Scrolls 6 when they announced it, where they just showed
They did,
here's Elder
yeah.
Scrolls with 5, one line. Here you go, as generic mountain background. I don't know what it is, but hey, it's a thing. So you could be right.
Cool.
I'll keep on the Bethesda train then, and I'll say a new Fallout game, not developed by Bethesda, will be announced. And I think it's
Interesting.
either going to be an Obsidian game or it's going to be from the developers of Wasteland.
Yo,
and we're either going to get a 2D top-down isometric
Yeah.
Fallout, or we're going to get a new Vegas?
Fallout
Aren't
Classic.
Obsidian currently working very hard on their own Elder Scrolls sort of game for Microsoft?
Oblivion
They are.
also has
We've
like
got Avowed, and they've got
Avowed.
the Outer Wilds.
Outer Worlds
Worlds.
2. But that's the thing. They have multiple teams, right? Because they have those two. They also are working on Grounded. They also just put out Pentiment. So, like, Obsidian, rather, is, I think, a lot bigger than people realize, or they're just really good at being liquid.
Yeah. Oh, God, they're all owned by the same company, of course. Where's me
They
thinking,
are, yeah.
why would
Like,
they
they
go to
could
Bethesda?
just
They're
share
not Bethesda.
assets as well, Now they're all by the same company. It's just, I'll send over those files, would you? Give us a hand here.
I mean, it would be...
Pop it on the shared drive.
It would frankly be sick if they made a new Vegas 2. I think we all know that, right? Like, that was one of the first things.
I think it's more likely we're going to get a Fallout Classic or like a Fallout Tactics, like that style. I think that's more likely what they're going to go down.
But you're not specifying that. You're not specifying.
I'm not. I'm saying any new Fallout game not developed by Bethesda will be announced.
Could also
it
be
could
like a
even
mobile
be
game.
like
There was like the Vault Dweller.
Fallout Vault 2, yeah.
Yeah.
It could be...
Yeah, that's fine.
Cool.
PC
I think that's a pretty good one. Because I feel like the idea that they're going to not make a new Fallout until after they make a new Elder Scrolls, so like we won't get a new Fallout until like 20 years from now.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with 76, just like, just sitting there, not doing very much.
It feels like you want to get that franchise back on its feet. Okay. We're getting down to the wire here. Getting down to the wire, gang. Okay. Nintendo will not release a new 2D Mario game this year.
2D.
Yes.
Will not release.
Yes.
Yes, there is that rumor that one is coming out. So I'll accept it.
Heavily rumored.
Yes, so I'll accept it. Because if there was nothing, and you're just, Nintendo won't release a new Star Fox game, it's
yeah, that's like whatever.
Vague. But the fact that it is rumored, fine.
And people have the opinion that it's like going to be connected. They'll try to time it around the movie, things like that. I'm just like, I just don't know that that's going to happen. The movie's really close.
Yeah.
And by 2D, you mean like the new Super Mario Brothers U style?
Yeah, not a 3D platformer, a 2D side scroller.
A 2D side scrolling Mario game is the rumor, and I don't think that's happening.
Okay.
And
would
3D
Paper Mario count as 2D? 2D Mario game?
Yeah, Paper Mario would. Well, no.
It's not what I mean, but I think it would.
That is a 2D game.
I'm saying
a classic style. You mean a classic style side-scrolling Mario game?
It is what I mean. Yeah, but I also feel like, I don't know, like if they release another Paper Mario, then I feel like give it to me because it is a 2D Mario game.
This is where we want to get into. This is where we need to get into. This is why we need these new rules.
The reason I said 2D is because I'm like, I don't mean like they could put out a Mario spin-off. Right, like if they put out a sports game, if they whatever, like I'm not counting that. Like if that comes out, that's not what I mean. Right, that's a different franchise. I would argue.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's fair to argue that Mario Kart is a Mario game. Right, I think you know what you mean when you say a Mario game, and I mean a 2D
fair.
Mario.
Okay,
that's fine.
Okay. Max number 8.
Oh God, yeah. Sorry. A couple of options here. This one I think might be too much of a softball, and you guys tell me if you think it is. I think Spider-Man 2 is going to suffer a delay. Not out of this year, but I think it's going to suffer a delay.
They even announced an official date for it.
They said it would come out in the fall.
Yeah. So
that's too close for me. Like it can only push to winter.
Yeah.
Like that's like 2 months at most.
All right. Okay. Fine. Then I think instead let's say.
But I mean, well, you know what? Let's hold back though. If his prediction is just Spider-Man 2 will be delayed.
But he said not out of this year.
Not necessarily out of this year.
But I think that would be.
I'm not saying it's not specifically out this year, because if it gets delayed by a month, that's still a delay.
So
right?
to winter 2023, or so what do we count as winter 2023?
Well, no, but I don't.
Where we go.
I guess my question is, why does it have to be that specific? I think it's fine if he just wants to predict that a game will be delayed. But you think it doesn't work because it's the window's
so
too vague,
close, right? It's like it's fall.
Well, no,
and like we don't know what they interpret as fall, right?
But he could still get delayed into 2024.
Yeah, but isn't that the argument? Right now they're saying it's coming out in 2023. Max is saying I think it's I guess are you more comfortable if he says to 2024?
I'm fine with it if it's to 2024, but if it's just delayed within that small window, I just don't see it.
I feel like he's okay. Because if he
If
said
you're
that
okay with it, it's only got to convince one of us.
Because my thing is, they said fall 2023. That's not a specific date, but I think.
Okay, what about if we say Spider-Man 2 will not release in fall of 2023? So it has to release some other time. But I think we need to say after a certain date. Like it's got to be like
so the only
after December or
the
after
only
November.
reason I'm not comfortable with that is because I think if they were to come out and say Spider-Man is coming out September 20th. You know what? Actually, we're going to delay the game 1 month. It's coming out October 20th. Or we're going to delay the game 2 months. It comes out November 20th. I would say he should still get it because his prediction is that the game will be delayed. And for that to happen, they would have to announce a release date and miss it, right? I think that's fine because that hasn't happened. We're nowhere near that being a reality.
So
the only thing they've said is it comes out in fall.
Date has been set. So are we saying
Not
after a
necessarily.
solid release date?
No, because they could still push it to 2024 now, and that will still be delayed.
That would still be a delay, right? Or they've said right now it comes out in fall, and then if it comes out in December, then
they would have to announce a delay. We don't know what the date is. They would have to at some point say. Sorry, we're pushing the game.
And I'll say this. I'll say this to nail him down a little bit further. Let's all agree that fall runs from September 1st to November. What? How many is November 31st?
You know what, Pete? I'm happy with a Spider-Man 2 delay will be announced. If they say the words, we're pushing it back or it's delayed,
yes,
I'm okay with that.
We need more time. Yeah,
but if it's just we don't say anything and then it releases in December and they're just like, yeah, that's the fall, I'm not counting it. It's got to be they've used the words we've delayed the game. But and if it doesn't come out this year, then you get it.
All right, then okay, cool. That's the stipulation I wanted to make. Is that if they don't announce a delay, but it misses the current window,
or will not be released.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know though. I mean, honestly, like I'm still with him. Like if it comes out in December, that's not fall. If they say it's fall, it's bullshit, right? Like that's not true. And we all just agreed that fall ends in November. So I think even if it comes out in December,
that's what I was getting at. Like you say that it's like it's released in December onwards. Like you like set that date. That's what I was trying to get at. It's like you either set the date,
we're in,
or
I don't want to do that because if they announce it for September,
because that's the thing I brought up. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The game is going to be delayed. I think we're clear on what that means.
Are you happy with a Spider-Man 2 delay will be announced or it will not be released?
Yes.
Because what I don't want it to happen is they go, it's coming out September 1st, and then they go, well, actually, it's coming out November.
Yeah, and that happens. That's not unrealistic.
That does happen, and I'm fine with that. If they say it's delayed, what I don't want is it for it to just be internally delayed and we don't really know about it.
Fair enough. I will say this. I don't think this is going to happen. They don't delay things like ever. I can't remember the last time Insomniac missed a deadline.
Yeah, fine.
That said, this would be the one to miss, right? Because this is probably one of the games that was impacted by COVID. So, like, I don't know. Could happen, but I think it's going to come out. I hope so anyway. Damn, it's like that's my most anticipated game of the year right now, baby. Let's go.
That, not Tears of the Kingdom. Tears of the Kingdom for me is the one.
I'm more worried that Tears of the Kingdom will not meet expectations than I am for Spider-Man 2. I think Spider-Man 2 will probably solidly be a 9 out of 10 game for me, and like it'll be like this is a perfect game for me as a Spider-Man fan, and I loved the first one, right? I think Tears of the Kingdom has the real potential to be a sophomore slump.
I had a prediction down as that, which is like Tears of the Kingdom will be considered okay.
Will not meet expectations, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
see, that was the thing.
It was too open for interpretation.
I have a prediction like that as well that I didn't use. I'll say it now because I'm not going to use it. I said PSVR 2 will underperform. It was like, what does that mean?
I have one. Yeah, like that.
But like, I don't. You know, you have to. I feel like you have to.
I think you could say that. Like, if Jim Ryan uses the words, it didn't meet our expectations, then
yeah. But like, are they going to admit that about a piece of hardware that they released this year? Probably not, right? Like maybe eventually, but not in 2023.
I had that and took it out because I was like, at no point are they going to go that failed, but we might go didn't sell very well. But like, how do you confirm that underperformed because you don't know what their expectations were?
Right, and also it's like for VR products already don't have a huge performance. So what does that mean for an already niche product? I don't know. You know, it's too nebulous.
Right, my number 8. A mobile game will be considered for Game of the Year at the Game Awards for the first time.
Not a chance.
Sorry, can
you don't think something like Marvel Snap could come out and be considered at the Game Awards?
For Game of the Year? No.
For Game of the Year?
No.
Sorry, did you say a mobile game for Game?
Yeah, a mobile game will be nominated for Game of the Year.
Take it. You have that. You enjoy that. I hope it keeps you warm at night, and I look forward to us all harshly laughing about this.
Yeah, dude,
in
I don't know, man.
January
Every year,
2024.
Steve hits me with one or two where I'm like, that's nuts. It'll never happen.
Unless his prediction of PlayStation releasing something on another platform, that platform being mobile, and that game being, I don't know, The Last of Us Part 3.
That would also work,
And,
yeah.
Synergy. that's
No,
what we
that'll
like.
be an interesting argument if the game is on to like, and it's like nobody means the mobile version.
Genshin Impact is on multiple platforms, but I would argue that's a mobile game.
Yeah,
I
that's
would
not a
I'd be
game of the
okay
year
with that.
contender ever.
No,
So-
I
if
know,
it
but I
was,
think
but if
something
it
like that
was-
could come out. Among Us, for example, was
Yeah.
mainly played on mobile. I think that could have been considered.
didn't get a game of the year nomination.
No, I know it didn't. I think this
Fortnite.
year
Marvel
could
Snap,
be the
phenomenal
first time.
game. Didn't get the
Fortnite?
nomination.
Didn't Fortnite get a nomination for Game of the Year?
Wasn't a
PUBG
mobile
did. That
game
was
at
a
the
mobile.
time. Even if it
Was-
did, I
was
don't know
PUBG
if it did get a nomination for Game of the Year, but even if it did, it didn't come to mobile until later.
Was PUBG Mobile out? Anyway, we're getting into too much of the nitty gritty.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Okay, number 9. 2 left. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go with this one. Embracer Group will release its first major success. And I think
Haven't they already had some?
have they?
What would you consider a major success? As in critically or
Critical.
sales-wise?
We'll say critical success. They will have a major critical success.
Do you want to put a number to that?
I don't. I think positive.
Then I don't know if I can take it. Positive, what are we saying?
I mean,
Anything over 75 is positive, technically, right?
yeah, I would. I would argue that.
Then I don't think a game.
What's
being
the
green on
lowest the game gets on
Metacritic-
Metacritic before it gets a weird little symbol that says it sucks? Because it's like that's what I'm talking about, right? Like it's like it'll be their first. It'll be like the first game that they put out that isn't like, oh, it's a weird port of an old game. It's this, it's that. It's gonna be like, oh, this was like a legitimate big release that got serious critical reception. It sold well. It was pop. You know, like it's a game that is one of the games that's talked about this year in a serious way, and people are like, oh, whoa, look at Embracer Group. Like they're actually doing something now. Because I feel like the narrative around them for years has been that they are a sleeping giant, right? They own all this stuff. They've acquired all these things. They own the rights to
I
Lord of
feel
the
like they've
Rings
already
now.
done
They
it,
bought Dark
right?
Horse Comics. But like, what have they
Yeah, like,
materially put out that you can think
like,
about?
Metro Exodus was like, I feel like that.
You
I
think
like
that?
Metro Exodus for them was a big hit.
I guess that's
Evil
true.
West this year. I feel like everyone was talking about Evil West for a while.
I don't know though, right? Like, was that you really like? I don't think that was like.
They also own Goat Simulator. So like,
yeah,
big
but like, all right, fair enough.
No, I think if you give a number to it,
we'll say it's going to be at
And-
the Game Awards, nominated for some awards at the Game Awards or something.
Embracer Group will release a game that gets nominated for a game award. A game award.
Yeah.
You're comfortable with
A
that?
Game Award, anything.
yeah, I'm interested in this.
Yeah, it could be like best game design, games for impact. It could be fucking any of the
Yeah,
bullshit
yeah.
ones.
I'll go with that. That's fair.
Fun.
Because I think that
Fucking
represents what I'm
aren't
talking
things
about.
getting fun?
You know?
When did Embracer Group buy THQ Nordic?
Very long time ago. That
Long
was their
time ago.
first acquisition.
Okay, then Darksiders Warmaster Edition in 2019 on the Switch has a 77, and that's green.
But again, right, that's not what I'm talking about. That's a re-release of an old game. Like, all they've done is acquire studios and put out the games they were already
Darksiders
working
Genesis,
on, or re-released
February-
games that they acquired. Because they put out Kingdom of Amalur Re-Reckoning, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's not a new game.
So are we saying it
Darksiders-
can't be like, say, a Tomb Raider? Because they obviously own that now.
Mm-hmm.
Does it have to be something fresh, something new?
No, it could be an IP that they have acquired, but I think it has to be something that was developed with. Here's a good point of comparison.
Can I give you an example before you carry on? Darksiders Genesis came out in 2020, and it got 77 on Metacritic, and that was a new game in an existing franchise that they released.
Okay.
Yeah, but like say for example,
Desperados 3?
Obviously, all of the stuff that they're working at Crystal Dynamics, they're probably still working on it, and they were working on it pre-acquisition. Are you talking about stuff that's fresh and like incubated by?
I mean, that's
them?
not coming out this year, right? So like, that's probably not a great
Yeah,
example anyway.
probably a
but-
moot point anyway. I'm happy with you having Embracer Group will release a game that will be nominated for a game.
Let's
Award,
go with
any
that.
Game
I think
Award.
that's
Okay,
more easily definable, and I think it reaches the same threshold that I'm talking about, which is
Okay,
like
cool.
it would be a game that is like a game that turns heads, right? Like a game that gets like a 75 is honestly like not the kind of thing I'm talking about. It has
Desperados 3 got 82 in 2020. Expeditions Rome in 2022 got an 80. Skydrift Infinity on the PS4 got an 80. These are all THQ Nordic
I don't
games.
remember anyone talking about those games. Like, that's what
They're
Pete's
still
talking about. It's just
critically.
like-
yeah, but that's what I'm talking
but
about.
it's not like it's got to be something like an Elden Ring. It's like a must-play game that everyone's
or even
talking
like
about for the first time.
Astray, right? Like it's like a game that like people actually talked about. Like if I've not heard of your game, it's niche, right? Like I listen to how many video game podcasts a week. I do shows about the news. Like I'm pretty dialed
Goat
into
Sim
what
3
gets
is going to be
released.
out. Goat Simulator 3 is going to be out this year, and I could see that being at the Game Awards. So I feel like you in with a chance with that one.
Yeah, I think that could be
Alright.
a good one. Okay.
Oh, it's me.
Yeah, it's you. Number 9.
I'm gonna say
2 more.
I don't want to argue too much on this one, but I think Xbox releases a new first-party controller, whether it be an update to the existing controller, a new version of the Elite, something like that. They release a new first-party controller that uses a feature or multiple features that are currently in the DualSense, like haptic feedback, adaptive triggers, or gyro. New features to the Xbox.
I had this last year.
Did you? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Still, take it.
Could be.
So Xbox will release a new first-party controller with adaptive triggers or haptics. I've put. Are you happy with that?
Because also gyro, speaker
Okay,
and controller, like a feature that is in the DualSense.
Okay. But okay, on the DualSense. Okay, that's fine. Ooh, all right.
We're saying a microphone meets that though. That is a feature on the DualSense, but that's not like an original DualSense feature.
No, it's still a feature of the DualSense that the Xbox doesn't have. The Xbox, you have to plug the controller in. Having it built into the controller, I would say, is a feature that the DualSense has. The Switch doesn't have it. It's a DualSense feature.
Fair enough.
I
Fair
also
enough.
think it's very unlikely, so I'm happy with it.
I love when Steve Abant, he was like so bullish on it last year, and he's like, nah, it didn't happen last year. It's never happening.
No, I don't think it's going to happen because they
Funny.
released like the new Elite Series 2, and I just felt like it was going to happen. It would have been that controller.
Sure. Could be.
So I'm going to go with number 9. Sony will add support for cross progression to their PC games,
I hope
enabling
so.
players to switch between PlayStation and PC.
Jesus, I hope you're right. That would be awesome. PlayStation launcher when?
I just don't. I can't.
See,
So
it could be a launcher. It might not be. It might just be you connect your PlayStation game to the Steam purchased thing.
I mean,
So
you can
that's
already
why I put
connect the
cross-progression.
two in a way, right?
You can
I-
connect them, but
Mm.
there's no cross saves.
Yeah,
around
yeah, I
cross-progression.
agree. Can I? This isn't a point about this, and I know we want to wrap up soon. Well, that sounds like a cool feature. I don't think there are enough ongoing PlayStation games where I would want to rebuy it and then transfer my data over. When surely, if I'm rebuying it to play on PC, I would just start the game again, right? I'm not picking up God of War. I'm not playing half of God of War. Going, I'm going to buy this on PC so I can swap between the two whenever I want, right?
With a Steam Deck, you
I'd do it
might.
with Spider-Man. Yeah, I'd have done
Steam
it with
Deck,
Spider-Man.
maybe. Yeah.
yeah.
All right.
Could
Okay.
be. I don't know. I
Okay.
think there's a nugget there. I think it makes sense.
Mhm. Okay, fine.
Okay.
Go on.
Last
Point.
one.
All the risky, yeah. I can't wait to see your risky pick.
Okay, I'm gonna go with this one. I'm sorry, number 7 on my list. Excuse me, number 10. Square Enix will be acquired.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
I think Square Enix has been gearing up for an acquisition. They sold off their U.S. Based studios, or their Western based studios, I should say, to Embracer Group, and of course,
And then Embracer decided to publish their games with Amazon instead. It was like, what the fuck are you doing?
hey, portfolio management. We talked about it. I think it's because they're going to make a Tomb Raider show together.
Yeah, me too.
And Embracer's not only in the business of that, right? They bought Dark Horse Comics. They own the Lord of the Rings IP
Yeah,
now.
they
so
own every board game you can think of.
they're out there, right? They're like, whatever, right? Like, we're going to make partnerships where they make us money. And of course, Amazon is hungry for content. So, yeah, I think Square has been looking to get gobbled up. And I think they have, not as bad as Ubisoft, or Ubisoft. They have also had a number of titles that have come out and underperformed. And while I think they do have a few IP that are really strong right now. Like Final Fantasy in particular is probably in the best place it's been in a long time, between the remake and 16 coming out and the ongoing success of 14. I think, they certainly have more to build a base around, but I feel like that's what they want. So I think that's where we're going.
Yeah. Max, you're number 10.
Okay. If you guys have any issues with this that I understand, I think we're going to see a new Naughty Dog project this year.
So I don't have any problem with that, but that would mean, like, just so you're aware, the Last of Us multiplayer project would not count because that's already been revealed.
Did not know that existed. Okay.
Then you're good.
Okay, I'm going to delete that. I'm going to say that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Nintendo will announce an expansion to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Okay.
Not just DLC, like a new expansion. Whether that gets released this year or not, it gets announced this year. New content for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, that kind of thing.
Okay, so that's fine. So Nintendo will announce Pokemon Scarlet and Violet expansion.
Do you know what? I'm going to change expansion to paid DLC because I think they could do something that you pay for that isn't necessarily a full expansion, and I don't want to get too in the weeds with it.
Yeah, I get you.
Paid DLC.
That makes sense.
Okay, that's fine.
Announce.
Oh. Yeah,
sorry.
Announced.
Yeah, announced.
Gotcha.
I mean, if it is released, great.
That counts too. That's fine.
Doesn't disqualify me.
All right, Steve. Last one, number 10.
Okay, I have so many. I don't know if I should just go with like one that I think is a bank, or one that I should, that you may not even let me have, or go with some of the more fun ones.
I mean, dealer's choice, buddy. I know you got like 30 left. So
I'm gonna try. Meta's Quest 3 headset will be announced and released in 2023.
Cool.
Okay. All right, so I had one left before we get to the risky pick. Let's read the ones that we didn't do. My last one is that Nintendo will provide an update on Metroid Prime 4.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would probably argue that. You're fine. Sorry, carry on.
Because they haven't talked about it in like
that one anyway, but yeah.
No,
4 years. So it's like,
No, you're
they'll
right.
probably talk
Yeah, you're
about
right.
it, right?
Okay.
But I don't know.
I don't know if an update is too
Too broad.
Yeah, we'll get to see Metroid Prime 4 for the first time. I thought we'd actually see some footage of it.
We might.
I said we'll see a Metroid Prime remaster this year. That was one of mine. Also, my other leftover pick was we don't see Bethesda's Indiana Jones game this year. Is that Bethesda doing that?
No,
it's Machine Games.
I know the one. Yeah.
Wolfenstein, right?
Oh, so that is Bethesda. Yeah,
They're
but,
right,
It is. Yeah, you're right. But it's not Bethesda Softworks. Yeah.
Yeah, fine.
I don't think I would have given you that one because I'm like, because why would we?
I think that's a ways out. Yeah. I've got 14 left, so I'll quickly rattle them off. Microsoft will not own Activision Blizzard by the end of 2023. I don't think that deal's closing. There will be no new major studio or publisher acquisitions in 2023. I don't think with the current climate, anyone's buying anyone. Discord will launch a Twitter or Reddit competitor. I think they're ripe to do something public. They've got all these private communities. Why not make them public and allow you to move your account around?
That's a good idea.
PC Game Pass will announce support for Linux, including Steam Deck. A Sony-owned studio will release a new game on PS4, continuing support for last-gen consoles. A new game from Beat Games will be announced exclusively for Meta Quest headsets. Sony will release their own PC launcher. Nintendo will release a Lego set featuring a game other than Mario for the first time. No new Amiibo will be announced by Nintendo in 2023.
What?
Jim Ryan.
That's a crazy one. You're fucking
Jim
high.
Ryan.
They're going to put them out for Tears of the Kingdom.
Absolutely, they do.
Yeah, that's why I didn't go with it. Jim Ryan will not be the CEO of PlayStation by the end of 2023.
That'd be cool.
I think he's either stepping down or he's going to be fired. He's not doing a great job.
He
in my
sucks.
PSVR 2 will be considered a flop due to its high price and lackluster launch lineup, but again, it's hard to judge that.
What is a flop,
PSVR,
right? Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. PSVR 2 will get PC support, and Sony will continue to price PC games lower than PS5 titles while Microsoft will start charging £70 for titles like Starfield on Steam.
I'm really surprised that you only had one recycled prediction. I thought you were going to bring back some of your ones from last year that were like, oh, these were good predictions, but they were too early, and like that was one of them, right? Was the one you just said? It was the VR 2 will get
VR2
support.
PC support. Yeah,
I'm more sure.
I don't know about that one.
Marathon. You went with Marathon over some of those genuinely great.
Some of those were a lot better than the ones you picked. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I know. But we can look back and we can laugh at the ones I didn't go with.
I'm very excited for that.
That's what I'm talking about, though, right? Everybody's like, "Oh, Pete always wins." It's like I just pick things that I think will actually happen.
I think the things I said will actually happen. I think Marathon is going to be the next game.
I think you're flexing the old games that you had to play as a child because your dad got all the cool games for himself and just like, oh yeah, why don't you play this game on the Game Boy where you're a granny
on the
going
Pippin.
shopping or whatever. Yeah, bullshit like that.
All right, so my risky pick is I think Summer Games Fest will have a higher viewership than E3.
Summer Games Fest being a 3-week event. 2-week event. It's like a 2-week long event, right? It's massive. Summer Games Fest.
Are you talking about like the opening night thing, like the?
I guess
initial...
that is hard to define.
Summer Games
and
Fest,
if
the
E3 is
umbrella.
such a flop that they don't release the figures, then how do we judge that?
Oh, we'd be able to know, right? Like you could look at like E3's live events.
Oh yeah, but you're looking at every live event, and you're looking at all the stuff that's on IGN. You're like, because people don't watch it in one place; they watch it in multiple places.
Yeah.
And also, like there could be. There are so many.
I feel like that's
events that are
measurable.
under the
though.
umbrella.
Like I feel like it is measurable because like we have like stats that come out for like how many people watch live streams and things like that. Jeff posted after the Game Awards, right? Oh, it's the most watched Game Awards ever.
Jeff
right?
always posts that, but I don't think that E3 will. I don't think we'll see anything from the E3 camps talking about how.
But you don't think it would be measurable in a way that like
I just think
proves
there
my
are too
point?
many events. There are too many Summer Games Fest events.
Yeah, but
and
a lot
we
of them
also
are
don't know,
not
what
highly
cross
watched.
is over. Like, is one on E3? Is one on Summer Game Fest? We count like Xbox as their own thing, but it's like also part of both. Like it does get quite confusing.
I guess that could be murky. I don't think that's going to happen. I think people are going to choose camps.
I don't want to get into long tail theory with you right now, but having loads of events that are watched by fewer people generally, that's how Amazon works as a business, right? They have loads of products that fewer people buy all these products, but you have enough of those products that overall.
Yeah, but it's not a one-to-one, right? Like the average person who plays and buys video games, right, and isn't dialed in, those people know what E3 are, and they don't watch Summer Games Fest. Like Summer Games Fest has not had the same viewership as E3 for the last, 2 years that it's existed. Can we agree to that?
I can agree to that. I don't think it's easy. I think we're going to get into a big argument at the end of the year if those figures don't come out. You're going to be going, oh, but this, that, and the other. Whereas we just don't know.
No, well, that's for the judge to decide.
You have to prove it. You have to prove it. But yeah.
But I think we let the judge decide, right? We're going to have an impartial judge.
Only if you can give them enough proof. They can't just make a decision based on a vibe. They have to have the proof that you've given them.
That's fine, but you have to be okay with what they decide, right? If you don't agree that the proof is the same, like it's the judge's call, right? Like
lots of people are unhappy with decisions judges make, and we're just gonna have to accept it. That's just part of it, right?
As long as the judge doesn't, in lieu of doing any work, just go, oh yeah, Pete gets it. I don't care enough. Like as long as I can.
We're gonna pick someone who's invested. Don't worry.
As long as I can slam fists and call out names.
I think this will be measurably provable, and I think that if it happens, people will write about it. That's my opinion.
Okay.
I don't know that it's gonna happen though, because of what I said. I think E3 has brand recognition, so I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be interesting.
Okay, so my I've closed the tab now. Okay, I'm pretty sure I went with that Metro Prime 4 will be released this year.
That is a risky pick. You are well within your right on that one.
I'm not scared.
Okay, I've got two possible picks for mine.
You can say them both because we can't steal them. So just.
So one is Phil Spencer will announce he plans to step down, or a successor will be announced.
Can I, before you say the next one, Pete, we can't comment or influence his decision in any way. He has to pick it himself.
Okay.
I don't want
And
us to be like, oh no, or whatever.
Yeah, fair enough.
And the second is Starfield will release on PlayStation.
Thank you for those picks, Steve.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for those picks.
I'm going with Phil Spencer.
Okay.
Will announce he
Okay.
plans to step down or a successor will be announced. I could see actually the CEO of Microsoft stepping down and Phil Spencer taking his job, and so then they need to announce a successor
I don't
for
think
Phil
so.
Spencer.
I don't think he's interested in that.
I think he is. The CEO of one of the only $1 trillion companies in the world.
But yeah,
I think he won that job.
he likes video games though. He wants to work in video games. I don't think he wants to be a CEO of Microsoft. I think he wants to run Xbox.
I could also see that if the Activision Blizzard deal doesn't go through and it's a big flop and they lose billions of dollars, that he's asked to leave. Yeah,
maybe, but
I have a contact inside Microsoft management. I will have a word and see if I can get any tips on this and keep you guys
can't
updated.
do that. You can't influence the vote.
I'm not influencing the vote.
yeah. Let me know now.
No, I don't know now. I'll let you know. I'll let you know as it happens. Privately, I'm not going to do it live here because I'm going to ruin people's jobs and lives and stuff. But I was privately with you guys. I'll let you know how things are going.
Okay. All right.
My theory with the Starfield releasing on PlayStation was they try and do it to be like, hey, look, we told the EU that we were going to continue to release Bethesda games on other platforms, and look what we've done. And so we're going to carry on and release this on PlayStation so you can believe that Call of Duty is coming to PlayStation when we buy Activision Blizzard.
I still definitely don't think that would ever happen, but once you explain that reasoning, I'm like, all right, okay. Like that makes sense somewhat. Okay.
But yeah, I don't see that happening. I think they want exclusives.
Yeah, I think these are all pretty unlikely, if I'm honest. But all right, cool. So that's our lists. So let's just go through them one more time, just so everybody, if you're listening at home, you can get the final lists, and then of course we'll check in on them on our last episode of the year,
and throughout the year as they come true, right?
Yeah, we'll check on them here and there.
Yeah.
All right. So number one for me, and we'll just read. Everybody can just read theirs in a row.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Number one, Nintendo will not release next-gen hardware. Number two, Microsoft will successfully acquire Activision Blizzard and the deal will close. Number three, Ubisoft is acquired or liquidated. Number four, Armored Core 6 will be delayed out of 2023. Bungie's first new project under PlayStation is revealed unrelated to Destiny. Persona 6 will be announced. GTA 6 will be officially revealed. Nintendo will not release a new 2D Mario game in 2023. Embracer Group will release a game that will be nominated for a Game Award, and Square Enix will be acquired. For my risky pick, I said that the Summer Game Fest will have a higher viewing figure than E3.
So for the middle guy, an Elden Ring expansion will be released by the end of June 2023. Tears of the Kingdom will feature Princess Zelda as a playable character. A Bloodborne game, you spelled it wrong, is revealed this year, not a straight port. Armored Core 6 will be the best-selling game in the franchise within the first week by an official source or a reputable analyst. Forspoken's Metacritic score will be below 80. Konami announces at least one new game for an existing franchise with a third-party developer. Elder Scrolls 6's name will be revealed, e.g. Oblivion, Skyrim, Morrowind, whatever. A Spider-Man 2 delay will be announced, or it will not be released. Xbox will release a new first-party controller with a feature that exists on the DualSense that doesn't already exist on Xbox. Nintendo will announce a Pokemon Scarlet and Violet paid DLC. And my risky pick I went for was that Metroid Prime 4 will be announced in 2023.
So for mine, number one, Nintendo will not reveal a new Switch. Number two, Link will die in Tears of the Kingdom. Number three, Game Freak will apologize for the bugs and issues in Scarlet and Violet and will not release a new Pokemon in 2023. Number four, a Sony-owned studio will release an original game day and date on PlayStation and another platform. Cannot be something like MLB The Show, but something like Marvel Spider-Man would count. Number five, Bungie will announce a new game in the Marathon franchise, the first in 23 years. Number six, Valve will launch a subscription service. Number seven, a new Fallout game not developed by Bethesda will be announced. Number 8, a mobile game will be considered for Game of the Year at the Game Awards for the first time. Number 9, Sony will add support for cross-progression to their PC games, enabling players to switch between PlayStation and PC. Number 10, Meta's Quest 3 headset will be announced and released in 2023. And my risky pick, Phil Spencer will announce he plans to step down or a successor will be announced.
Can I jump in and say Link will die in Tears of the Kingdom? I think to avoid spoilers, we can't talk about that until the end of year show. As in, until we do the actual predictions, right? The other ones, when they come up, we can go, but if you play through Tears of the Kingdom and you get 3 days in and you get to the end of the game and Link dies, you can't go on the show next week and be like, hey, everyone, Link dies. And
I think let's all be cool about it, but I think there'll be a point where we're going to, like, we'll
we need to have a specific spoiler cast, or we need to have a certain percentage of the audience out, and then we also need to very heavily say we discuss spoilers for Tears of the Kingdom here. What I do, because I just really don't want to
no, that's fine. Yeah, we won't upset anyone intentionally for that. We'll keep it to the.
I will intentionally upset Pete multiple times this year, just so everyone's aware of that. But yeah,
I'm gonna come in and change all of Pete's predictions to really difficult ones.
See, and this is the thing, right? Like, you guys, I call you cheaters, and then you're like, we don't cheat, and then you're like, oh, I'm gonna come in and cheat. That's exactly what you just said. So
would never.
Yeah,
well,
never could, never would.
I don't know. It sounds like you would. I mean, it sounds like you just are literally currently doxing your plans to do so. So, I'm just saying, when we inevitably get to the vote, I hope that the judge keeps this in mind.
Yeah, my girlfriend is free on the day we record that if you need her.
Absolutely not.
Fine.
I'm bringing in somebody from the community who I trust. Okay.
Okay. This doesn't bode well for me as the newbie that.
As a heel, yeah. Well, you have a whole year to ingratiate yourself.
No, because everyone's gonna hate me more by the end of the year. That's the issue.
Be nice. Be a nice person. Everyone will love you.
No, don't make me promise things I can't promise, mate. That's not fair. You stop wearing glasses then. You stop.
You pay for my laser eye surgery, I'll do it.
Pay for my brain reassignment then. All right, if we're going to get into this.
We had to pay for Max to get a personality adjustment.
Oh, wow.
We'll figure it out.
I thought you were going to say get a personality, and I was going to kick the fuck off, but yeah.
No, you have a personality. It just needs to change.
Yeah, it's just so sharp and pointy. Why is it so bitter in the air whenever you're around, Max?
I don't know. Anyway. Thank you guys for joining us here on another episode of the FlipScreen Games Podcast. The predictions and then the check-in these are two of my favorite episodes to do every year. So I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as we did, because this is always a blast for me. So if you guys want to let us know your predictions for 2023 or make your predictions on which one of us is going to take home the Mbessie Trophy for 2023, make sure you let us know over on the Discord. Or head over to flipscreen.games, drop us an email. However you want to get in touch, flipscreen.games is the best place for you to find us all over the web. That's our website. Go join it. Become a member of the community. Join the Discord. Write in the show for next week. However you choose to get involved, we appreciate you tuning in for this week's show. For the crew, I've been Left Guy, he's been Middle Guy, and he's been Right Guy. We'll see you next week.